Hello and welcome to the History Help channel. Today in this historiography video, we will be learning about the definitions of history. So what is history actually? History is a record of unique events of the past. It is an understanding of the past and also understanding of the present. So various historians and scholars have given very different definitions of history. So in this slide, we will look into the different definitions of history. So history is a Greek word which means research, discovery, and inventions. So explorations. So Greeks were the earliest to discover about and write about history. So let us begin with their definitions. One of the earliest Greek historians, his name was Dionysius. He says that history is philosophy. Now, why does he call it as a philosophy? Because history is a storehouse of stories. And each time you refer to a past, it could be about a certain experience. For example, Ashoka's Kalinga War, it brought him nothing but guilt, remorse. So that's an experience that some historian has recorded. So if you look into that, so be it Napoleon, be it Hitler, be it Gandhi, so these are all experiences of many people, unique events or people that has been recorded. So it's a philosophy which is teaching you by examples. It might, suppose I'm a king, and if I was actually reading my own history, and I'm going on a battlefield, I might read about Ashoka and feel that, okay, war kills so much people and it's not good having a war. So if you make the time to read history, it is actually a philosophy which is giving you live examples of the past and telling you what's good, what's not. It does not tell you what's good or not, but it shows you what's good or not. In that sense, history is a philosophy. Moving on, the next historian of Greece, Aristotle, says that history is an unchanging past. Now, that's a very interesting definition. Have you ever heard the word unchanging? See, how can history be unchanging? History is a record of unique events. Why does Aristotle say unchanging? So when Aristotle says unchanging, he's talking about human nature. See, humans, greed, lust, jealousy, envy, pride. These are all human emotions, and even the positive emotions like happiness, joy, peacefulness, contentment, all these emotions are not going to change. Some people are more content, some people are less content. Only they change in the degree. So wars happen, battles happen, they are all similar things happening, right? So in that way it's unchanging. More or less it might differ. World War One would have been in a shorter duration, fought in a different set of techniques than World War Two, but both are wars. So in this sense, Aristotle says that it's an unchanging past because human emotions or human mind never changes. That is what he means by unchanging past. Okay, so we have covered philosophy, we have covered past. Then other great historians of Greece, Polybius and Thucydides, says history is a story of unique things. So not all things, only unique things. History recites or narrates. So history is a story. Let's see what other historians have said. So Sir Francis Bacon says that history is a discipline that makes men wiser. How? When you study about the past and you realize that certain actions of man has brought him glory, certain actions of man has brought him only misery, you become wiser. But what is wisdom? Wisdom is the ability to understand what is good, what is bad for you. So when you start studying the past, you realize what should be done, what a person in the past, what your ancestors had done in the past, and how it went well or how it went wrong. So you understand and you learn. So in that way, history is a discipline making you wiser. So then there was a general definition given by Henry Johnson, who says that history in the broadest sense is everything. So whatever has happened, whether there has been a marriage, whether there has been a death, whether there is a dam constructed, or whether a common man, everything is falling under the definition of history. But now, when you make it such a broad thing, it's very difficult to study it. It's very difficult to take a particular thing and focus on it. So it's a very broad definition. That is why Rayner says that history is all events with respect to a relation. Maybe you're talking about all those events that has happened only in India, all those events that has happened only in Europe, or you're saying all those events happening only in the 19th century. So you're trying to group events with respect to relation. Now, this is not a very broad thing. You are grouping them according to country, location, or time period. So history is a story of events. Another definition is history of is a story of man living in societies. When we say societies, it means collective action, the group action of people living in societies. Be it when as a society you might invent something, you might have certain rituals, culture, certain art forms, and certain behavior. So all that history is. So now you have come to history is the story of men living in societies. And Rouse says that, goes a step further, and he says that history is the story of man living in society in their geographical location. So he has tried to bring in the location aspect to history also. See, location does matter. Because of the Himalayas in our country, it has protected us not only from invasions, but it has also given us a unique identity. It has also given us a unique trait or a unique culture. So location has mattered here. If you look into China, China has been very isolated, and that was the reason that in the 19th century, technologically, it bowed down to European countries. Because of its isolation, China thought it was very superior, and because of that, it did not adapt to other technologies and other countries, and did not learn from other countries. So because of that, the Opium Wars, it got subjugated slowly. So location does matter. That's why Rouse says that history is the story of man living in society in their physical and geographical location. Next, we come to Maitland, who says that history is not just what man has seen and done, but what he thinks, what he has thought. If you look into the past, and if you look into the fact that man has created wheels, invented the wheels, has discovered the fire, he has learned to live in a civilized society. What is all this? He has, from agriculture to industries, there has been a tremendous growth. Growth of what? Growth of human mind. So it's all about thinking. Every time man does something, he thinks, what can I do to make this better? So this growth of man's mind is history. That is what Maitland says. Isn't it a very interesting definition? Then we come to Okay, then you come to Carley, who says that history is the biography of great men. Now, he has reduced history to only accomplishments of great people. He has not considered common man at all. In fact, he says that common man is a burden to society. That's the way he has put it across. His focus was only on great people, be it Napoleon, be it Hitler, be it kings. So he says only great men make history. But that is not true. Common man has toiled. Common man has built the Taj Mahal, be the craftsmen, be the artisans. They have done tombs, they have built dams, they have built temples. So even common people does come into consideration of history. Next, looking into the definition, history is religion. Lecky says that history is the record of moral revolutions. So his focus here again is very narrow when he talks about history in the sense of moral values. So in fact, he says it's only moral revolutions, nothing but what is right, what is wrong. The evil goes down and the good comes up. And Leibniz says that history is religious revolution. So he's given a religious angle to it. Next, coming to Lord Acton, who says that all history is nothing but the story of human freedom. So, be it French Revolution, be it any movements of revolution, men and women are fighting for their freedom, for fighting for their better life. So, so history is nothing but it is the story of all human freedom. One interesting definition, which has been given by Edward Birmingham, was history is science. So, history is a story of unchanging past, but history is not telling you stories simply by imagination. It is referring to sources. So, in this way, history is science because it writes stories based on sources. So it has concrete proof, it has facts. In this way, history is science. Even as a researcher, if you are writing about history or about researching about your research material, you look into sources, you look into whether it is genuine or not, and you look into it objectively. So all these are what? These are all scientific method of looking into things. So in this way, history is also science. So now Sheikh Ali, who has written a book on historical methods, says that history is nothing but the business of studying of man, by man, for man, written by man. So I am studying the past to learn more about myself. So in that way, in a deeper way, it's all the business of man, for man, and by man. Objectively, it is everything. History is wars, dynasties, kings gone, and kings who are coming. Subjectively, it's everything that is happening, like could be the growth of human mind, could be culture, could be social, economic forces that is making things happen. So history in that way is everything. So in the next slide, we will look into the nature and scope of history. So let's look into it in the next section.